How long were you in treatment for?
28 days.
28 days.
Oh, I hated it. Every day I was there. I got a ride there because I knew if I drove there, I would drive myself out of there. So I had no way to leave. I was stuck there.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew I wouldn't do it if I.
And then afterwards, what did that look like then? Was it obviously not a perfect road?
It was good for a little bit. Like we had, when I left treatment, I had a plan to do 90 meetings, 90 days, right? That was my plan. And I got out, did a couple meetings, and I thought they were dumb. This is dumb.
Right.
You guys are dumb. You guys don't know. Like, you guys are all idiots in there, I thought. They're just speaking like, I don't know, when you're in addiction. Have you ever been through it? No? So like when I was in addiction, you don't see a lot of happy people, right? You're happy, but you're not. Like, you're happy to do drugs. You're happy to get drunk. Happy to stuff like that. But these, like, some people, like when they're genuinely happy, it's something weird to see. And that's what I seen in those rooms. And I thought it was fake, right? But these guys can't be that happy for no reason, right? Same, like, I still didn't know happiness at that time, right? So it just seemed all fake to me. Even like motivational speakers, I used to just like, whatever, right? I just
something I'm always so I get like, because I really don't have that much experience with addictions. So I always thought, with people who speak on addictions, and this would be a good, like, do you feel like sometimes, like, do you feel right now that you're an addict still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's things in my life that if I don't keep track of what I'm like, pay attention to things that I'm doing just in my everyday life, like even say something as simple as my eating. If I start eating, say, candy, I have one candy one day, the next day it turns into two. The next day it turns into three. The next thing you know, I'm eating a whole bag of candy, right? That's just I have an addictive personality. So anything that I touch or anything that I do, it could be, and it can turn into an addiction for me. And that's why I struggled with in my recovery too, because when I turned to that, then I turned to women, right? Chasing women, trying to be loved in relationships, and didn't work out. Just go from one woman to the next type thing, right? That became an addiction for me too. Chasing the women, having sex with women. And the only reason I knew it became addiction because somebody asked me one time, they said, how do you feel after you're done doing the thing that you chased a woman for? And I thought about it and I said, I feel like shit. And I said, well, why? Why do you feel like that? I said, because now I know that I don't want to be with this woman. I just lied to her for however long it took me to get her into bed, right? And then now I got to sit there and I didn't even want to talk to them because I felt like shit because of what I did after knowing what I did, right? So like anything is like that can be an addiction. Then the gym turned into an addiction for me. Like it got so bad that I wanted to be so big at one point. It just became to a dark place, right? And then I got hooked on steroids too, right? In my recovery, I started doing steroids a little bit, and then I was doing good. Start to do this little bit, and then I start seeing these bigger guys, and then I wanted to be bigger, so I asked them, "What are they doing?" They tell me what they're doing, so I start doing that, right? Didn't make me anything bigger. Just it was all a waste of time, and not a waste of time, I guess, but just a waste of money because it didn't do anything for me. It made me big, but I was fat and big too, right?
So do you feel like you have to be kind of cautious with like day-to-day things too?
Not so much day to day. I just know, well, you know what? Yeah, day to day, like I said, with my eating, it can get away from me very quickly. Like it has, because I've been going to the gym, right? This past month, I took a month off. Been rolling and stuff, trying to take care of my body. And like this last week has been like, my mind's just like, well, you're not training, just have a little bit of candy, have a little bit of this, it's okay. You can eat bad right now. you're not doing anything, right? But it's like I'm trying not to eat bad because the bad food is what's giving me my stomach issues, right? But my head is just like always have a candy, just have a candy. And people around me doing it, I'm just like, okay, trying not to say no. Just like drinking, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to count, but it's not. It's like nothing though, because I don't know how to say that. It's not nothing to me. It's not nothing, but it's to other people that eat it every day. It's nothing, right?
Right.
But to me, it's like I'm trying to say no to it. Same thing as like with the alcohol, when people don't think see it as a problem for you and they try to push it on you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like kind of similar.
Yeah.
Just alcohol and candy, but it's like just candy. People they talk like that. I don't want to eat it though, but I want to.
Yeah, I've had some conversations with some friends of mine who have been sober for years, like 10 years,
Yeah.
15 years, and I get different answers because like I asked them like how they feel around alcohol, like do they go to the bar, would they date somebody who drinks,
Yeah.
and some of them are like I can't date somebody who drinks, I can't be around it, and others are like no, that's fine, like
Yeah.
it's like they've grown.
You've grown, yeah, but like alcohol is fine for me. I can be around it. I can go to the bars and stuff. But like drugs, when I see drugs even on TV, I still get that. You get that little, like the butterfly feeling in your stomach. I still get that when I see drugs even today, and I still dream about them. Like when I'm drinking in my dreams, I feel a lot of remorse. Like I regret it, and I'm thinking like, what am I gonna? In my dream, I'm thinking like, what am I gonna tell people? Right? Well, how am I gonna do this? Like, do I tell people? Do I keep it a secret? And this is always, I'd have these dreams not quite a bit, but off and on. But with the drugs, there's no remorse. I'm out living my best life. Needles, everything, right? Just boom, boom, having fun. Needles in all my pockets. And one of my dreams, I had needles in my back pockets and all my pockets, and just like not even a care. That's how I know I still have an issue with the drugs.
Right.
Because even when I see it in person, it still excites me too, right? In my stomach, I get that feeling like where I want to do it. So I know it's an issue. But the drinking, honestly, I could never. I'll do without. I don't really care about it.
So when you started Warrior Mentality, uh, what was like your mindset when you created that?
When I created it, I was just coming out of a depression, really bad one that last time, and I was working at the mine that I'm at now, and it got bad, really dark for me that time, and because I resorted to even antidepressants from the doctor, which was something that I never wanted to do. Right, was take medication like that, and just because I seen what it did to some people, just makes them like zombies and stuff. Like they're functioning, but they're like it's almost like autopilot, I guess, right? So, anyways, I tried that. I think they put me on citalopram at the time, and it helped me for like a week or two. It was good, and then then after that week or two that I felt good, I went into that autopilot mode where I was just there, going through the motions, getting up, going to work, doing the thing, right? So, and I didn't like that. And a week after that, the depression came back, the suicide came back, and it was worse. It was like probably 10 times worse than what it was before I'd taken the antidepressants. So one day, I tell this story a lot, I think, because one day some guys asked me how I was doing. I went down, it was the beginning of shift, and I went down, and they said, "How you doing?" And without even thinking, it just came out. I said, "I can't stop thinking about killing myself, man." And then I was like, stopped, and I was waiting for them to say something. They started talking, and they related to me. The one guy said he tried killing himself, and he committed suicide or attempted it. And then the other guy said he ended up in in a psych ward because of that, because he tried attempting suicide too. So it was like, it was scary, but I share that because it's, even still right now, I have a hard time sharing some things that I shouldn't be, because, like, especially with speaking about it and stuff.
Right.
But once I got that out, that's when the healing began for me. I was able to, once I said those 3 words, I can't stop thinking about killing myself. Was that 3 or 4? Anyways, once I said that, it was like a game changer for me. So I always had this idea that I wanted to start a brand, like, before, but a couple of my friends here in Saskatoon, when I was living here before I moved to PA, said, there's so many clothing lines, you won't do good. And then I was in Calgary one time, staying in Chinatown, and this is why I was looking around. I was like, look at these, look at these guys here. There's literally restaurant by restaurant by restaurant by restaurant, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, why am I so scared to start something when these guys there's like 30 restaurants right beside each other. They don't care whether they succeed or not. They don't care about competition, right? So that's when I decided I wanted to get the brand going. And then Rochelle came into my life right when I was starting to move things forward with it. And she actually pushed me. She got the equipment that we needed to start the brand, like to make the logos and stuff. And we ordered clothes, and then, yeah. So my message with the clothing line was, I just wanted to share my story with people about the suicide, about addiction, so that, especially with men, because we suffer a lot in silence, right? Mm-hmm. And I still do sometimes too. Sometimes I have a hard time telling even Rochelle certain things, until I know. Sometimes I suffer by myself because I'm trying to figure out what it is that's bothering me, right? And then once I know, then I can speak about it to her. Like, I talk to her about things. But sometimes it takes me a long time to understand what's going on. And I think that's what a lot of us need to learn how to do, right? Or teach. We got to teach the kids that, because there's nothing, like, we want to share. We want to tell them, kids, about this stuff. You got to do this. You got to do that, right? But we're not really, I don't think we're actually really teaching them how to deal with their emotions and stuff. Nobody ever taught me how to do that. My parents were there. No, they never showed me anything like that,
So what would you do? Because me, as a boxing coach, like, I build a lot of trust with my students, and I have a lot of people come to me for advice, or they just want someone to talk to. And a lot, not a lot, but like, there's times when I don't feel like I can relate, and sometimes I don't really know how I can help them, or what to do really, or even understand what they're going through to give perspective on it.
Yeah.
And what would I do, or what would you think would be like a good thing to do in that situation?
Just listen.
Yeah.
Just be there for them. Tell them not to give up. And just be honest with them. Tell them, I don't understand what you're going through, because I've never been through it, and nobody's around me has been through this. Like, I want to help you. I'm here for you to listen. Just say something as simple as that. Just being there to listen. Like, I think listening is probably the best thing you can do most times, because I learned over the years with the people reaching out to me, is they don't want answers when they come to you. They just want somebody to listen to, right? I tried helping people in many different ways, like telling them that you need to do this, because I've been there, so I know what worked for me, but that might not work for them, right? So one thing I learned too is trying to find the right questions to ask them, so that they can see themselves what's going on. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
So, like, for myself, if, say, me and you, I came to you for advice, and I told you what was going on, I'm having trouble with this girl, whatever, right? And you said, okay, you need to do this and do this and that. This is what, you're the problem. This is what the problem is. I wouldn't listen to you, because I just wanted to vent, right? Basically. And, but if you had a way to ask me, like my friend did, how he said that, how do you feel after you're done getting what you want from the woman, right? You know what I mean? So then it made me think, right? Then I had to go back to that and then think, like, how did it make me feel? And it made me feel like crap, right? I didn't want to feel like that. And it was getting worse as it progressed too. And that's what kind of put me into my deep depression, because then it validated all those feelings for me, right? Of not being worthy enough, not feeling like I could be loved, because every time I was with somebody, it always ended, right? And even though I self-sabotaged most of that, it still tore me up, like as if I wasn't the one doing that, because people were still walking away from me. People were still leaving me, right? That abandonment and that rejection came up. And that's what just pushed me off and further into my depression. But yeah, like I think like finding the right things to ask people. So I'm still learning that myself too. I can't relate. Like I can relate to a lot of people that reach out to me about suicide and stuff. And it's hard sometimes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking to people about it, but you want to be there for them. But you, at the same time, you think like, what can you do to help them? And a lot of people are, you know, they tell me you should call somebody, you know, like cops or something. And I'm just like, well, I put myself in their shoes too. If I reached out to somebody, you know, and telling them this is what's going on in my head, I want to kill myself right now. And if somebody called the cops on me, it would make things worse for me, right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, what if that person actually kills himself? And then, you know, is that on me? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a tricky spot to be in, right? But I just share my experiences with them, like how I tell them, like, you know, I understand, I was there. You know, if you keep going, it gets easier, but you got to do things to make it easier for yourself. You can't just keep doing the same things and expect different results, right? That's one of the definitions they say. That's one of the first things I learned going to the rooms, the definition of insanity, doing the same things and kept expecting different results.
Right.
So, yeah, you know, it's, I guess to me, I enjoy helping people though. Like when people reach out to me, you know, I tell them that, you know, I'm proud of you for doing this. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep reaching out, keep talking to people, and eventually things will get better for you, because they do. When you get that weight off your chest, off your shoulders, that's probably the best feeling in the world, right? And it comes from something as so easy as just saying it out loud, speaking those words that are killing you inside your head.
So when you think about like mental health, like a lot of people connect mental and physical health. But then you were just saying how you kind of got addicted to the physical. So do you think that can be dangerous too if you don't have like maybe like the awareness, or maybe you know, because I feel like a lot of people use that as like you know, like just go to the gym, you know, like
Yeah,
get your mind off it, do the, like. But then if you're still an addict, then you get addicted to that. Maybe that could be just as
absolutely.
deadly as
It took me to a dark place, like
yeah.
every other addiction in my life, right? Because I started searching for more. I wanted to be bigger. I wanted to do this, but and the whole time that I was trying to find these ways to be bigger, I wasn't really thinking about my health. So then I started doing steroids. I started off lightly, and then I started getting heavier and heavier. But I was asking people too, like after all these years, you know, like of doing all this gym stuff and this steroids and stuff, a lot of people, they don't really know what they're doing in the gym. They just listen to other people,
Right.
and they just think that, you know, this is good for them. It's good. You'll be okay for you, right? Type thing. Just do like, but some of the amounts of stuff that I've heard guys running and that I've actually ran because of other people told me this is what they're doing to get how big they were. is ridiculous. Like it's
Mm.
like pro athletes aren't even doing the amount of stuff that some of these people are doing. Some of the stuff like even that I did myself, right? But then that's where you're right, because it took me down that dark place without even, and even in it, I still didn't realize that I was in a dark place. And yeah, it so in my experience with steroids, it amplified how you feel. So I don't know if you're angry, it's going to make you more angry, right? So it's just like an amplifier. I was happy. It made me happy. But it definitely messed with my hormones. And it probably was, not probably, is one of the contributing factors of my depression too, was being on steroids and not understanding them and running too much. And then like having my hormones dipping in all over the place now that I understand them better. It's unfortunate too, because now I have to be on HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, because of all the stuff that I did, and I just absolutely crashed my own testosterone levels because of it, because not doing it properly, not cycling off properly, and staying on too long, right? Stuff like that, because eventually it comes to a point where you don't even want to get off. You just want to keep running so many different kinds of compounds and then just keep switching them, right? But it definitely took me to a dark place. And now I'm happy that I can not control it, but like I know that I need it. But I'm working with a doctor now. I'm working and looking at my health now, trying to keeping an eye on all my blood work and stuff all the time, right? Making sure that I'm healthy first before that's first foremost. But
That's
I'm not saying that it goes that way for everybody,
great. Yeah.
but that's the way it went for me, and that's the way I see. I'm trying, like, a lot of people, like, people ask me for help and stuff, like, and I'm just like, try to do what you can,
Yeah.
naturally first, because you can achieve a lot naturally, and a lot of people won't believe some people that how big you can get naturally. But all these, like, all the trainers that I've hired too, they they're good. They know what they're doing and stuff, but like they don't give you enough food to eat, right? I found a trainer now that I'm training with, and he's like probably one of the best trainers I've ever had, and he's got me eating 3 pounds of meat a day and having like 200-gram protein shakes. So it's I think it's like just over 400 grams of protein a day. But whereas some other, I mean, everybody's different, right? But this is what works best for me, is the high protein. And I still have like the stomach issues and stuff. So he's been helping me kind of figure out what's going on there too. So I think hiring a good coach is probably one of the best things you can do. Somebody that you can work with.
Yeah.
If that's the route you want to go, right? Bodybuilding.
And the thing that I see lots too, for trainers is, like, for my boxers, because they're experimenting, they're going out to
Yeah.
nutritionists, they're getting whatever, and the moment stuff is happening quickly, that's when I'm like we should probably look at that, because like we want this to be long term. We want this to be a slow process where your body's changing slowly. Lots of times those trainers, they try and do things quickly, but it doesn't last. But they want the results quickly, so it looks like it's working, and that's like tricky.
I think that is a lot based on the person too, right? Because I've been there too, like where I went from 295 pounds down to like 240, right, in a matter of 8 weeks. But once I got there, this is all a mental game for me too, right? Because food was one of my things that I went to whenever I was depressed or whenever I was sad. I was an emotional eater, right? So I didn't really work on that. So every time a diet worked for me, a meal plan worked for me, I would go good, but then I would start seeing results, and then I would think to myself, okay, you can have this, right? You can have this. So a lot of it is not really like the coaches. It's all up to you to follow that. Yeah, I self-sabotage myself always and still do, even with food. Man. I'm terrible with food even right now, especially with family. Like I had a family member, they ate a little bit loose on the weekend, like not normally what I don't do, right? And I said, Monday I'm going to start training, and Monday I'll go back on my meal plan and go back to routine. Well, my cousin showed up last night. Let's go for supper. Let's go. You want to go for ice cream? Let's go for ice cream. Okay.
Yeah. That's funny.
You know, like it's just, but then we blame others for everything, right? Because, we're paying this person to help us. They're not actually doing the work. We're the ones doing the work. They're just guiding us, right? They're just our messengers helping us through. So that's why it's important to find somebody that is going to help you physically, like, and with the food addiction too, right? But you got to be honest with your coach too. And that's something that I never did, was be honest with them. I never told them I went out and had a cheat meal every day for the whole week.
Yeah, I'm not losing anything.
No. So I mean, like, it's good to have a coach, good to have them, but it's not their fault. It's all in your hands, right? Just like everything else in your life, it's all in your hands. You got to do the work, man. And with my stomach too, I think just from eating so bad over the years, and with all the burnt stomach liner and the ulcers and stuff like that, I think it just kind of caught up to me. Because when I was big, fat, I was eating greasy food 3-4 times a day, right? Going to McDonald's, Burger King.
So do you do mostly proteins for your gut health?
No, I just do mostly proteins because it's the best thing that I can eat for me. The carbs ruin my stomach. Anytime I have carbs, it bloats me really bad. Some vegetables do that too. Like the vegetables don't really help me either anymore. So I do, sweet potato is okay for me, but it still bloats me once in a while. I think it's just a little bit of everything in my stomach. I think I just got to figure out what's going on. I'm not really sure. I got to go for blood work on Thursday to get that figured out. See if they see anything that's off or anything different. But all my other blood work is good right now. So, but I'm not sure what they're checking. But health is number one, man. You get to a point in your life, where I still want to be big, but I want to be healthy about it, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm doing the right things. I don't want to be on a bunch of juice either. Just, doing my TRT now.
Have you looked into like the big thing right now is peptides?
Peptides, yeah, I use the peptides for my stomach.
Okay.
And it helps while I'm on it, but as soon as I cycle off it, my gut issues come back. Because I was, just before I took this month off, I was doing the BPC 157.
Okay, that's like the Wolverine combination one.
Yeah, and I got, like I was starting to get, like, it worked. My whole body changed. My stomach was working good. So I got really lean and big. That was the last picture I posted of myself, probably 6 weeks ago. But as soon as I stopped it again, my stomach issues came back. And my coach told me not to run it for, he said, do it for a month, take a month off, because your body's going to get used to it like anything else, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to listen to him, but at the same time, I'm like wanting to stay on it the whole time. Like
yeah,
because it works. It helps me so much. Right? I don't feel like that uncomfortable feeling. Like when my stomach's bloated, man, I look pregnant. It's really bad, eh? So hopefully I can figure it out. I'm excited to see what this blood work reveals. I go on Thursday, so
I think I don't know, but I feel like mine is similar because like most of the time I just eat meat and eggs because it's filling and it keeps me like I don't have like insulin spikes. Yeah. I don't feel like napping. It keeps my energy like consistent, and I try and stay away from most carb. Even me too with vegetables. I'll eat like berries for fruit, but like I feel like I get super bloated and I get super like sleepy, and it's just It's annoying because I love
I know
carbs.
the food's not for us, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something they're putting in the food. I don't know what like
Yeah.
because so many people have gut issues now.
There's that.
And
There's
so many
that.
people that are like fit and lean and that are eating right on point all the time too. They still have gut issues. I don't know.
It's pretty like a loaf of
It's a
bread
common
here
thing.
is like a bag of sugar.
Yeah.
It's like because there's that. Uh, there's like I can't remember his name. He's a high level jujitsu guy. He eats once a day, but he orders all his ingredients from Italy, and he eats pizza and pasta every day.
Yeah, they say it's better out there.
Yeah, and he says he's fine.
Yeah.
He gets his oil from Italy, his like everything.
Yeah.
He makes his own pizza. He eats pasta and pizza once a day, and that's his meal.
My coach
he's
before
fine.
this guy that I had was spent a month in Europe, and he said I could eat the pasta out here, the everything, and it was
It'd be interesting to just
something
go
to
and
do,
try it.
see what they're putting in the ingredients to the flour here to there, right? I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah,
but it would be nice to be able to eat bread and not feel like you're pregnant after.
Yeah, definitely.
But even
Or
anything.
crash out too.
But like I did a food sensitivity test too, and that came back with a whole bunch of stuff that I was eating every day, like peanut butter. Gluten was one of them. It was almost in the red. And eggs, I couldn't have eggs. Olives, I was eating olive oil. I put olive oil in my shakes for fats. What else was on there? Nuts, peanuts. So I was eating peanut butter every day too in my shakes.
Peanut butter is my
everything
weakness.
everything that I
That's
eat,
my favorite.
I was eating every day was on that list. So I had to cut eggs out. I had to cut bread out.
Really?
Yeah.
You-
Eggs. It said eggs and egg whites, so I couldn't even eat egg whites. And then, but I recently, I've been eating more bread, and it hasn't been bothering me. But I've been eating sourdough bread. Say it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Than the way I don't know, the whole science behind it.
That's funny. One of my friends, she took one of those tests,
Yeah.
and she could only eat yolks.
Really?
Like she couldn't eat the white, but she could eat the yolk, which I thought was so funny. Like just ordering egg yellows.
Yeah, can I get some egg yolks?
That's so
but that's the best part. That's where all the fat is in there.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
For a long time, my wife would not eat yolk. Honestly, until she got pregnant, now she eats yolk all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Like since we were 15, she would always give me her yolks. And that's why I married her.
Now she's not giving them to you.
now she's not. Yeah, ever since she had got pregnant, she eats anything now. It's different.
Yeah,
but
I was actually going to go try a heavy metal test too to see, because I'm a mechanic. Work with steel a lot, right? And the oils, there's a lot of metals in the oils. Absorption through the skin. But like
how long have you been
$800
doing that?
Almost 20 years now.
Holy smoke.
I started with Cat in North Battleford in 2007. I finished my apprenticeship or my schooling, and then I started my apprenticeship. And then I worked with them for 2 years, and then I started in the mining industry after that. I've been mining for 15 years now underground. Best. I love it.
And what's your plan with Warrior Mentality? Like to grow, or do you kind of just like where it's at?
No, I want to grow. I want to I'd like to go. I want it to get bigger. I'm going to start advertising more for speaking.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it now. Like it's hard, eh? Like I psyched myself out when I was in English River. They're looking in the gym there. It's like, oh, there's not that many people here. It might not be that bad, right? And I get up there and I'm just like speaking a mile a minute, and I catching myself, right? But these little things, at least I'm aware of it, you know? So I stop myself, catch my breath a little bit, and start talking. And then the nerves again kick in, and I start talking a mile a minute again. And I was like, hey, let's take a deep breath here. Let's chill. You know, let's calm down. And then it was good. And then when I was in Pine House the next day after that, it was perfect. But I mean, I spoke there. That was where I started last year. That was my first time. Was at that same conference, but it was like grade 7s and 8s, and this was the high school this time. But I think maybe being familiar with the place made it easier for me to speak.
Right.
It's calm, relaxed, and then
Sometimes you just have a bad day.
yeah, it wasn't even the bad day. I just didn't want to be speaking a mile a minute. I wanted to speak so people would actually understand what I'm saying and not be like.
Do you record yourself?
Hey,
Do you record yourself?
no, I can't listen to myself, man.
Oh yeah.
It's hard. Like even the podcast I did with Daniel.
You never listened to
I
it?
listened to it, but I was just like,
Just cringing the
I
whole
was just
time.
like, I didn't really want to listen to it. And Rochelle recorded me speaking in Pine House, and she sent me I still haven't listened to them. I don't know.
I joined a couple months ago a group, and it was about public speaking.
Yeah.
They were kind of like the one lady. She was going to do a TED talk actually, so they were kind of just throwing ideas around, and it really made me think differently about public speaking because they talked about it like almost like a sport, like for me, boxing. Like I know boxing very well. The guys at my gym who do jujitsu, they know it very well.
Yeah.
And they know like every little thing that's happening, why it's happening, why you moved a certain way, why like why you're setting up a punch. And that's how they were talking about public speaking, was like why you're moving your hands, why you started this here, right? And then why you're leading it up to here and why you're coming down and why you're,
Yeah.
and I was just like to me, I thought people were just speaking.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, but then I feel like everything's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Once you understand it, you see it so differently, you see it slower, and then people are doing things for a certain reason. And I just for some reason related that to sports, but it's not just sports. That's everything. And it was kind of cool to listen to these people talk about it, because I want to do some public speaking eventually.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's wild.
What I want to eventually have from that is like have a group of guys going, group of men going out and together and speaking all at, go up at separate times, obviously, or else even go up together.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I want to get to, because I got my cousin in PA running a shop out there, Underground Performance, and he's been sober for 10 years now. Ended up in jail because of drinking, right? Got into a bar fight. Similar story. Well, not similar to me, but his own story. And, when he come out on top, he came out of jail, started his business, and he struggled with it for a lot of years. There's one guy that would like to have out, whenever he's ready, to get him coming around and eventually just start, getting more people, because I know a few other people too that I would like to get involved. Like you too.
Yeah.
And like Mac would be another good guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty solid. I enjoy chatting with him all the time.
I wish I was home. Good guy.
I wish I was like in the city more, so I could hang out with everybody more, right?
Yeah.
And Shaylin too is another amazing guy too.
We're gonna chat on Thursday. We're gonna do a podcast on Thursday.
Shaylin? Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I like. Yeah.
He's unreal, man.
Unreal.
I talked to him. Yeah.
One of the most positive people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Mac too, just a solid dude.
Yeah.
We were box jumping the other day.
Yeah, I see that.
And that guy, I thought I could jump high. That guy could jump higher than me.
I wish I was here so I could come train with you guys every day too. It'd be nice just to get a different element, right? Start doing the boxing. Yeah. Incorporate it with the weights. Like
we keep talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing ever lines up.
Yeah.
We're both busy, man.
Oh man, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
This is the busiest, well, not the busiest, but like just traveling and speaking.
Where are you living right now?
In Prince Albert.
In PA.
Yeah. It takes a toll on you too, right? All the traveling, and because I work in Ontario. Excuse me. So I flew home from Ontario Tuesday. Came in Tuesday, Wednesday, packed up all the clothes, made a bunch of stuff that morning, packed everything up, and then started driving north. Thursday, went to English River, set up, spoke, packed up, went home, and then Pine House Friday, same thing. We're driving back and forth, right? Because it's only an hour away from Beauval. That's where my girlfriend's from.
Right.
And her family lives there, so we just drove back there and stayed with them.
I met her sister or something.
Carmen?
Maybe. Does she work at the school?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did.
Carmen and Hayden too.
Yeah, Hayden is the man too. Hayden is the man.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't actually, like, we speak a lot on social media and stuff, but I haven't actually met him in person.
Yeah, that's the one who brought me up there to do some boxing with. And then I just saw warrior mentality everywhere.
Yeah, well, it's
like
Rochelle's family's from there, right? So and they support it, and like her mom buys a whole bunch of stuff and gives it out. And
that's awesome.
Like she gives it to all her workers and stuff, right, for gifts and stuff.
Which is like, it's awesome because like it's not just up north. Like in Saskatoon, when I go to different reserve, like One Arrow, like it's everywhere. Warrior mentality and people know you, which is and I always try and message you when somebody asks about it, you know, which just means you're making impacts. Your your people are hearing what you're saying and they're connecting, and it's powerful, man. It's cool.
Yeah, it's I love the way it's growing. It's growing at a good pace for me. Be able to still do a lot of it on myself.
Right.
It's kind of getting to the point where I might need to get some help, but it's a lot of it too is right now it's budget, right? If I had more money, I would have more stuff in stock all the time, right? Or else not just order so many things at a time.
Right.
But eventually we'll get there. Eventually we'll have the money. We can just buy whatever we want and have stock of everything that we need, so we don't have to order everything in, right?
And then we'll make some fight gear.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Let's get that going, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn this front room into
these people that I have. They'll make. You seen the boxing gloves I got made? Yeah, they made those right from scratch, man.
That's wicked.
We can make the pads, everything. They'll make everything for me.
Yeah, we should talk about that because that'd be cool. Because we're trying to turn this maybe into a fight store.
Okay.
At least part of it.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to.
I mean, it makes sense because it's a big part of your life too,
right? And then plus, like one of the issues we're having right now is traffic coming in because we're not really in a place.
Yeah, it's
so like
pretty secluded here, right?
Yeah, so it'd be nice to have a reason for people to come in.
Yeah,
you know, and then they could see your stuff, Kendall's stuff, all this Nisto, But right now it's like people don't really come in unless they're business owners. So we're like, we need to be selling something.
Try to expand a little more.
Yeah, so that people like are coming in.
Well, it makes sense too for you because you're around a lot of people that like to fight and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you would get more exposure through that too.
Yeah.
Getting boxing gloves and gym shorts and stuff like that. Pads.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah. I'm kind of like in a similar spot to you. Is like I have all these ideas and I want to do them, but like I'm already like stretching my time out. And it's like I say yes to everything as well.
Yeah.
Which is like I gotta start saying no more. But I'm just like, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I'll do that. And then I'm just like, all of a sudden my whole week's filled up. I'm like,
I know.
Should have said no a couple times.
It's coming because I got to go to Whitefish now on Friday too and speak there. So there'll be 3 speaking events this time home. And I feel like I'm just recovering still from the first 2, right? It takes a lot out of you. You don't even realize.
How long do you speak?
I feel drained right now. I don't know if it's from the traveling and the speaking and stuff, but I speak for an hour usually.
And then do you do like a sharing circle or do you do?
No, I just if they want to have questions to ask me after, I'll let them ask questions and stuff, right? One of the questions I get a lot is, do you believe in God? But that was a tricky one for me too.
Right.
Especially coming out of addiction, right? You don't really believe in anything when you're in addiction. But I do now. So obviously I tell them, believe in the creator, right? Because that's my way now is spiritual, going to sweats more and stuff like that. And I have an elder who takes me to a bunch of other ceremonies and stuff too now, Shaky Lodge ceremonies and stuff like that. So pretty interesting to see those with the sweats and everything. It's pretty powerful, pretty powerful stuff to be around. And I'm excited to have that I have him showing me and teaching me as well. It's so funny. Like, have you been been to a sweat? You've been to sweats before, eh? Yeah. Like it, if you think about, like, I always watch Don set up his sweat, and it's very, like, the patience that he has to do that, you know? You don't really think about it, but I watched him a couple times, and everything he does is in one motion, like it's a step. He has to do this in one way, right? He has to have his pipe in a certain way. He has to have this in a certain spot. And it's like that every time. And it's like, and I think a lot of that, watching him over the years do that, has really helped me with, like, my patience and stuff. Seeing how patient he is, and how these every little step matters, is important for that ceremony to be what it is, right? That helped me so much, seeing that. We tend to forget about all the little things in our life because we're rushing to get to those big things, right? That makes sense. But it's like, it's the little things that matter. Those are the little things, like your family around you, the little things that lead up to the big things. You know, it's just, and we forget that because we want what everybody else has, right? We want to have a better life. We want to have this. We want to have a nice car. You know, all that stuff is nice. It's all fancy and stuff, but, like, what is having it without having your mental health, right? Without being okay. One of the things somebody asked me too, because I, like, you know, like, you look at my car, it's nice, right? I got a house, nice house. And that's what I wanted to do, because I grew up in addiction. I never had anything. I had a backpack with 3 pairs of clothes in it my whole life. And that's what I traveled around with everywhere, sleeping on people's couches, you know, like, my cousin always took me in. I took care of her. I helped her with her kids, you know, whenever I was able to. I slept most of the time on the couch while they played around, but, you know, that's how I paid people, right? And, like, I took care of her kids. She let me stay with her, exchange services. And where was I going with this? The the house and stuff. So I never had anything, right? So when I sobered up, that was one of my goals. You know, like, after I sobered up, me and my ex-wife split up because I couldn't handle being with somebody at the time, because it was just too much for me to try and be sober. And then, like, she still had a lot of resentment towards me, which was fair, right? And I still had to deal with a lot of that coming at me while I was trying to work on myself. So I couldn't handle it. It was pushing me in the wrong direction to go out and use again. So I moved out and moved back in with my cousin, the one that always took me in. And when I moved out that last time, I was just like, this was when I had to tell myself, like, you know, you need to have your own space. You need to have your own. I didn't even have a car at the time too, right? So those are my 2 goals, was to get a house of my own and a car of my own, fix my credit, get a house. And it took me 5 years to do it, but I got it. You know, I bought my first house in PA in 2016. It was easy to get a car. You know, anybody can get a car for 29% interest, right? But, you know, I have all that right now, and it's nice to have it, you know. And somebody asked me one time, like, if you lost everything right now, if you lost your car, you lost your house, you lost your job, whatever, right? Like, how would you feel? Would you still be happy? I had to think about it for a while, you know. Yeah, it would suck, right? It would suck to lose everything again. But at the same time, I've been there before, you know. I've started with nothing. You know, you just have to go back and then start over again, right? I've started over many times in my life, whether it was from drugs and alcohol, trying to quit and then falling off and going back, or like from relationships ending and having to move out of living with somebody, and, you know, having a bed and a TV again, you know, and having nothing again. You know, I've started over many times, and it's just, you know, it's just material things, and we don't have to put so much emphasis on it, you know, like how, you know, like some people can't live without their vehicle, right? Or their house, or just, I don't know. I just don't have that. I like having nice things though.
Yeah.
But it's just not, if I lose it, it's not going to bother me. I could go back to driving another $500 car wouldn't bother me.
I don't feel like success is it's a destination. You know, it's like a success is more of like a becoming.
Yeah.
You know, like you become a person who can become successful.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, bang, you're successful now. It's like you have to become that person. Because you hear a lot of millionaires, billionaires talk. If they got stripped of it all, 5 years, they'd have it again.
Yeah.
And that's because they built the tools, they've built the discipline, they have the headspace, they know
They're
how
not
things
afraid
work.
to fail too, right?
They're not afraid. That's
the biggest
the thing.
That's what stops a lot of us from doing things.
It's an unhealthy relationship with failure.
Yeah. That's why a lot of us, like, I sat at home all the time too, because I was afraid to do anything. It took me like 7 or 8 years to finally to take a step to actually start, getting a logo and a name made for this. I wanted to start a clothing line for like 8 years before I even hired somebody to build a logo for me, like, because I was afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid nobody would support me, afraid that it wouldn't turn into something, afraid of everything, and I still have that too, right? It doesn't ever go away. You just have to find ways to deal with it.
It just shifts.
Yeah.
Shifts.
Yeah. But like, there's always that fear is always going to be there of what if, but you got to just push past it. Let it get away from it, because it's stopping you from living your full potential. Like, what if things go good? What if it works out?
And even if what if happens, like, just believe in yourself that you're competent enough to deal with it and get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if you look at the things you've been through, the what if probably isn't even that bad compared to what you've been through in your life. So it's like, just deal with it.
It's attachment though, right? So we attach ourselves to these things. Car. It's attachment. Business. So that's why when we're attached to it, it's emotional for us. Then.
Right.
So when we lose that car, it's like our life's ending, right? Or like a relationship, same thing, because we're attached to that person. Like you feel like your life's going to end. I guess that would be a better comparison. But I think that's what it is we attach ourselves too much to something. And when we lose it, we don't know how to grieve losing that thing because we put everything into it, right?
Right.
Same as
you put your self-worth, you attach your self-worth to that, external thing.
And I see that so much with people with work. A lot of people love their job so much that they would rather be at work than at home, right? And I used to be one of those people too. I loved working. I loved being with all the people at work because it was an escape for me because of my mental health wasn't doing good, right? And when I was at work, I was needed, I guess, in a way, because like, I'm a mechanic. People need me to go fix their stuff, right? So, and I felt good at work because surrounded by all the friends and everything all the time. You never really think about that because you're always having fun, laughing with your friends, right? So that's why attachment, that's one of the big things that I think a lot of people need to work on too, because you see a lot of people suffering too when they lose somebody, right? Because they're so attached, and and at the same time, you understand, but at the same time, you need to think. We need to think like with our brother, sister, mother, whatever, anybody that we lose, would they want us to see? Would they want to see us living our life like this because of losing them, or would they want us to see us happy? That was kind of a tongue twister, but there's things like that we need to think about too, right? Because I can guarantee my grandma right now, we just lost her, like I can guarantee she would want everybody to be happy the way she did when she was alive, right? Like, it's just, everybody needs, we all suffer from the same things, I think.
Yeah.
Different ways, right? And I think even as adults, we still need to find ways to cope with things. And we need to understand why. And there's that thing going back to rushing into everything again, right? When all this chaos is going on inside your head, how often do you ever just sit down and try to think about everything going on. It doesn't even matter, right? Half the time, like going to speak about these things, like, and I'm just like, I'm all nervous about everything that's coming up, and I'm like, it hasn't even happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go up, and then I jinxed myself because it was like, there's not that many people here, it'll be easy, and I just put all that stress back into my mind without even realizing it, right? We need to sit down, even when we're angry, before we speak. That's one of the things I had to learn. Was I reacted too quickly to everything in my life. If I thought, heard you were talking about me, I would come and flip out. Why are you talking about me? Rather than coming to say, hey man, like, I heard you said this about me, is this true? Or if you have a problem, like, we figure it out. Like, what did I do? Do I need to apologize, or do we need to like figure, like, is there something I could do to make it better? But a lot of us just react, and I still like that sometimes. You want to see me angry? Drive around Saskatoon with me in the car. Doesn't take long for my anger to come out then, but it's
That's
we don't sit enough with these things that bother us, right? But and then oftentimes when we do, like, I used to somebody said something to me a long time ago, and I would think I should have said this, right? Then it would bug me for like 2 or 3 days. Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say this?
Mm.
Like, we think about the wrong things, right?
Yeah.
We let it, it's just human nature. I think everybody's like that, and everybody has different ways of dealing with them. Some not anyway.
Right. Just get angry.
Just getting angry, and that's how I used to be too, right?
It's very reactive.
Angry, yeah.
Yeah.
It would just, if somebody said something, I was just always on edge, man. I was a ticking time bomb, ready to snap. And I tell the story another time too here, actually, coming off of Circle Drive on Tidewald. I needed to get into the far left lane because I was living by the graveyard at the time, and I could see this car in front of me was gonna go over that way. I signaled and I went over there before he did, and he comes whipping by me, gives me the finger, and I'm like, whatever, laughed it off. And then I went up and I was gonna turn, and then I noticed he was behind me again, following me. Is he following me? So I went to the next turn because I didn't want him to see where I lived, right? In my head, I was thinking, what's going on here? Turned, and he was following me. So I stopped my car, got out of my car. It's like, what's going on here? Like, are you following me just to make me more mad? And I started flipping out, right? Trying to swing into his car, trying to hit him. And he had all his windows down. One of the things when a lot of guys he probably had his windows punched out before, right? Because he's done that before. Drove up to people like that. That's what I said to him. I said, you've obviously done this before, eh? You're rolling up to me with all your windows down. Probably had your windows punched out a few times, eh? But it's like, why do that? Like, why get so upset about it? I chased the guy here in Saskatoon around for probably a good hour after work, exiting from Kramer on 11th Street over there onto Circle Drive. He drove by me and flipped me the bird, and I followed him around town for like an hour, wasted an hour of my life chasing him because I wanted to scrap him. For what? Like,
did you find him?
No. I lost him after a while, and I was just like, and I was even more mad, like, it's just, for what? That's how angry I used to be, It's just that anger consumes you.
Yeah.
But when I sobered up too, I thought that life was going to be easier, and that was my mistake too. That's what made me more angry, because I thought everything was going to be easy for me, right? It was harder.
Right.
It's harder to live.
No coping.
No
coping skills.
No, I had none.
Yeah.
I had to relearn how to live my life at 26 years old when I sobered up, right from things that I should have been taught as a child. Maybe I was taught, but I don't remember a lot of my childhood too, right? I blocked a lot of that out. because of all the abuse. So the addiction is like, when my addiction started, that's kind of when I started remembering. That's like 10, 11 years old. That's when my memories start coming back.
That's wild.
Yeah. When my addiction started, when I remember drinking that alcohol, that's kind of when I could start remembering from. Not sure why, but it's funny because the more you speak too, like the more I learn about myself, right?
Yeah. Just come to
Yeah,
realization.
because I just realized that
Yeah.
when my addiction started, that's when I started my memory started working better. I wonder if it's because I don't know. I blocked.
Probably
Obviously, I wanted to block a lot of stuff out, right? But
I wonder if it's like your body trying to like tell you that it was a good thing, like,
yeah, maybe because you know what?
like mess with you.
The first time I drank, or not drank, but the first time I got drunk, when I look back at it, I was an alcoholic right from the, because I loved what it did to me.
Great.
I loved how it made me feel, even though I was crying around the whole night. I spent my whole night drunk crying because I was scared to get caught because I was living with my grandparents and they were driving around town looking for me. And even though I was afraid the whole night and crying the whole night, I still loved being drunk because it was like I was a very shy, timid kid, and I was able to. I felt like something different, right?
Yeah.
I felt like something that I wanted to be. It made me something that I wanted to be,
Right.
that I could be. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But when after I got sober and I looked back at it, I knew the first time I got drunk, I was an alcoholic. I was hooked to it. Everything I did, the first time I touched it, crystal meth, it just takes everything away too, right? All that worry, all that doubt, and that's why you get hooked on it. Same with coke.
Are you like naturally like anxious person?
Not anymore.
No.
I used to be.
So how did you like, what tools do you use to
when
keep that at?
when I first started, like when I started the rooms and I started listening to people, I started using the serenity prayer a lot. So when I was struggling with something like that I couldn't do, that I was still afraid to talk to people, open up to people about it, I just said the serenity prayer over and over and over in my head. Like I said it like one time I remember saying it for 8 hours at work all day. I was coming out of I was maybe like 4 or 5 months sober and was having all these health problems too. My nose would start bleeding for no reason all the time. My nose is pretty messed up from all the stuff I put into it, right? And I don't know, I can't remember even what I was struggling about, but I had a lot of shit going on in my head because you're just like, why is it so hard? Like when I was using, I never had a hard time finding drugs and alcohol. I never had a hard time finding money for drugs and alcohol. When I was sober, I could barely pay my bills. It was hard to live day to day, right? Because I didn't have enough money. I was always struggling living paycheck to paycheck. And then I'd have to borrow money to go drive myself to work every week, And then that's what I struggled with a lot because it was like, how can I be an addict, spend all my money on alcohol and drugs, and still be drunk and high every day even when I'm broke, you know? And then here I am trying to live a good life and I can't even afford to put gas in my car to get to work, struggling like that. And that was one of the hardest things. And I couldn't understand that. And I fought with that for a long time because I couldn't hold a job when I was in addiction, right? I worked till I had a paycheck and then I'd go out partying and I'd lose my job. So it was really hard for me to grasp that, but it's part of your struggle, man. It's part of what makes you who you are. Prayer is a funny thing too, right? Now that I think about it, you always see, I prayed for strength. God doesn't give you strength. He gives you tests to make you stronger.
Right.
And I couldn't understand that either. That's why I had a hard time with God too. Because then I was thinking, like, if God was real or the creator was real, why would he put us through this? Why would he let me go through the things that I did, or this person, or why are there kids starving in the world today? Used to always think like that, right? But you have to have faith,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I read somewhere, and it's like a good visualization is like, uh, he's kind of hands off. He's given everybody all the tools they need to become who they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And now it's just like,
it's up to us.
It's up to us to become the person we're meant to be.
This is the test out here, man.
Yeah. And I think about that often.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and it really does help you become grateful too.
Yeah.
Instead of asking for things.
Yeah.
Just be thankful to be capable of going through this or going through that.
That's kind of one of the things that, that somebody asked me one time about, do you believe in God and the devil and stuff like that? And I said, yeah, I do, because I've seen the devil lots in my drugs and alcohol. I've in hallucinations, I've seen the devil. Coming down off of hard drugs, I've seen the devil. So I know that, I don't know if that's real or is a hallucination, but I've seen him, right? I've never seen God. But one of the ways that, after being through all that, is, for me, how I interpret it is, this is devil's domain. This is where the devil, he strives, right? The earth is where he gets all his strength from. Fear, doubt, addiction, people suffering, people fighting. This is where he's strongest, whereas God is up there. That's where he's strong, right? So the way I thought about it was, this is, in my eyes, we're living in hell right now. And we have to fight, all this to be a good person. It's hard to see these things when you're going through them. Even when the anger comes for me, I still go through little spurts where I get angry, and I'm thankful that I have a patient partner right now, because she understands, though. I don't take it out on her, but I just, like, I can feel it, right? I go through these little phases of stuff when I'm going through stuff. So it's good to have somebody like that, though, that understands, that doesn't, like, try to fight you or, like, wants to know what's going on all the time. Especially, I have a hard time, because even when I don't know what's going on and people are like, what's going on? I know something's bothering you. What's bothering you, right? That makes me more angry.
Right. Yeah. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, it's like, chill, bro. Let me figure it out. Then I'll tell you, right? But that's just the way I coped with a lot of things too, is by dealing with it myself. So, and that's the way I still am. I had some people there, but I didn't trust a lot of people either, still, because I still had to work on that trust with myself too, right? But at the same time, it's not really a trust thing. You don't want people to find out certain things about you, so you don't tell people the whole truth, right?
Right.
Like, say, as with these relationships, I didn't tell them what I did, why we got into a fight. I just tell them that these people are being like this to me, right? They're treating me like this. And nobody ever thought to say, hey, well, what did you do? Why is she treating you like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're all close friends, right? That's why it's so important to have somebody there like that to challenge you, right? And that's kind of what one of the things I did, like I mentioned earlier, is push people away like that, right? And that's what we tend to do, because we don't like hearing the truth.
Just like getting validated.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, eh? That's the world we live in. We have to lie to each other to make each other feel better. We're afraid to hurt each other's feelings by telling each other the truth, right? But simple saying, that truth shall set you free. That was I have a hard time with my S's.
That's We're coming over an hour here, so I think we'll call it. But this was awesome.
That was good, man.
This was good. It was super natural.
Yeah,
it was good. I feel like we could do this again and again.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You know what'd be really good too? Let's get like Shilin and Mac and everybody do like a little group.
That'd be awesome.
And have just everybody sharing on things that they go through, right?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing, man.
I'm down for that.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of guys together, different types of addictions, different ways speaking. But even like, the things that you're doing too with the sports and stuff is unreal. You know, people learn so much from learning that discipline, right? Through fighting.
Just like I feel like the tools.
Yeah.
I feel like I always relate everything to boxing because that's what I know. But I feel like it's so similar to life. Like the things people go through boxing, with ego, with, like a lot of people will spar every day at the gym.
Yeah.
But you put a crowd in front of them and put them in a ring on a stage, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like that ego, right? And all these things like telling people who you are when you're not that person yet, and then it comes out in the ring. I'm training hard, I'm there. And then you gas out after the first, like all these battles that happen in the ring happen in life. And I feel like there's so many just like tools that I got from boxing that I use in life. And it helps me so much.
That's why I think it's so important for us to have something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially like for me, the weights is what does it for me.
Definitely.
The discipline of showing up for yourself every day.
Yeah.
The discipline of trying to follow a meal plan every day. That's hard in itself,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us struggle with that, but we learn that. That's why, like boxing, I grew up when I went to boxing when I was a kid. I was a fighter, right? And I went to boxing for all the wrong reasons. I ended up training for like almost 2 years, and I come out of there with a whole different perspective on things. Yeah. I didn't want to fight anymore as much as I did before, but I fought after that to defend myself, right? Not to go out to be ego and like, hey, I can beat you up.
It's a humbling sport.
Yeah, it is, man. Because
you get beat up by someone who's smaller than you, or 100%. He's like, oh, I could beat that guy up, and then all of a sudden you
spar with guys that are Golden Gloves boxers and Olympic boxers, and you can't even hit them, and it's like it's humbling, man.
How many grown men have come to the gym and got their asses kicked by like a 14-year-old, and they're like, now I have to go tell my wife I got beat up by a child. Like, that's how it goes. You don't get humble till you get beat up by a child.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're like, dang. It's but yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome to get to know you. Obviously, we've known each other for a while. We've met each other a couple of times, but we never really got a chance to.
Yeah, we'll have to make some time to.
Yeah.
Come train with you, man.
Definitely, man.